to the freshness of today, a day given to us by our Almighty to live life at its very best. And it is on that note, we welcome you to this beautiful Thursday morning. And we are bringing to you Good Morning Abuja program to put you in the right frame of mind. And today's edition promises to be engaging as we're going to inform you, educate you, and of course, entertain you on our show today. I'm your host, Deborah Abba Usman, and you know how we do it every morning. Let's start with our motivational talk to put us in the right frame of mind.
Today, I want to talk to you about one of the most powerful journeys you can take, the journey of rebuilding yourself. Life often throws unexpected challenges our way, and we may find ourselves in places we never planned to be. It's during these moments that we need to pause, reflect, and recognize the need for change. Rebuilding yourself starts with the vital, though often difficult step of acknowledging that change is necessary. This is a turning point in life that calls for honest self-reflection and a clear look at where you are versus where you want to be. It's about stepping back to evaluate your current situation and understanding the gap between your present and your goals. In a world full of distractions, responsibilities, and pressures, it's easy to lose touch with who we really are. We often convince ourselves that things are fine or that we can endure our discomfort. But real transformation begins when we have the courage to look inward and face the feelings we've been avoiding. Acknowledging the need for change isn't just about identifying what's wrong. It's about understanding the deeper reasons behind those feelings. Maybe you're unhappy at work, dissatisfied in a relationship, or caught in negative thought patterns. The first step in rebuilding yourself is admitting these feelings are valid and signal the need for change. It's okay to feel lost or unsatisfied. What matters is how you respond to those feelings. Self-awareness is key. It's the starting point for growth and progress. To reach this awareness, take time for self-reflection. This might include journaling, meditating, or having conversations with a trusted friend or therapist. Ask yourself questions like, what am I avoiding? What patterns do I see in my life? How have past experiences shaped my present? Give yourself space to explore these questions without judgment. The answers may take time to surface, but they will come with patience.
And that was our motivational talk, and we know we have been well motivated enough to start our day's activities. Now let's bring you our exercise keep fit segment on general body exercise. Segment gone by there, and I know you have joined in to do some exercises with us because they say a healthy body is a healthy mind. Now let's go on our very first break on the show. When we come back, we have so much for your viewing pleasure. Stay with us, please.
us to say our goodbyes on the program. As usual, I remain your host with the most, Omaride with Erese, and I'll always be here with my bestie.
Je m'appelle Oguntayo Olaniposi Justina.
Speaking French now, from Jordan to Sweden.
Adios.
Welcome back from the break, and it's good to know you have rejoined us again on the program Good Morning Abuja, and it is coming to you from the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5. And now to our conversation segment. This morning we'll be talking about strategies for promoting industrial development, innovation and competitiveness. And to do justice to this topic, we have the national leader of Nigerian Traders and chairman Wuse Association to do justice to this topic before us. Help us welcome Okorie Ikechukwu Raphael to the program. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
God bless you, madam.
Good to see you
My
again.
pleasure to be here.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, as we talk about the strategies for promoting industrial development, innovation, and competitiveness, I want us to look at the role that government play, the policies they play in promoting industrial development.
Yes, industrial development is key to the growth of any nation. If you don't have your industries well developed and produce what you need as a nation, you'll be dependent on importation. If you're dependent on importation, your earnings as a nation will be all eroded by paying for goods and services imported from foreign countries. So what is the role of government in industrial development? Is to create an enabling environment. Government are not to run industries. Government are not to own and operate industries, but government is to promote, the enabling environment for industries to thrive. First, they have to make policies to see that we have enough energy.
Sure.
Energy is a critical factor for industrial development because without energy, you cannot do much as a nation. And then the tax laws. When you have laws that encourage foreign direct investment and foreign partners and technical partners to come into your country to support industries here, you do better. Infrastructure like roads. You need to have good roads so that when you produce from point A, you can be able to transport those items to point B. There are a whole lot of things that come into industrial development that are critical for government to do. But Nigeria should be sure that if you look at the progress made within the last 24 months by the President and Commander-in-Chief, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you find there's a whole lot of job being done on infrastructure development. A lot is being done to see that we improve on our energy supplies. There's stability in power supply in most parts of the country. I give it to Governor Alex Oti of Abia State.
Okay.
The Aloji power plant is feeding Aba very well now.
Yeah, sure.
Aba industries have come back and they've been revived. Aba roads are now good, and Aba is selling to everywhere in the world and is showcasing them even in America and other trade fairs in Turkey and the rest of them. These are policies that if you put in place as a nation, as a government, industries will aggregately grow, they will thrive, and then become less dependent on imported goods and services from foreign countries.
Exactly. Thank you very much for that wonderful response. Now, I want you to take us through some of the effective strategies for attracting foreign direct investment.
Yes, the most critical factor is the ease of doing business.
Yeah.
When you come to a country and you want to set up an industry, and directors and permanent secretaries are telling you how much bribe you are going to give them and how they want to become directors in your company, foreigners get discouraged because they find that it's already the starting point is fraudulent and they are not going to be comfortable because going forward everything is going to be comfortable. But if government gives a transparent guideline and implements those transparent guidelines and ease of doing business, entry points, tax holidays. If I set up an industry in your locality, if you go to the United States, they say, come set up a factory in Georgia, state of Georgia. For 5 years, you're not going to pay taxes. For 5 years, you're not going to do X, Y, Z. For 5 years, you're going to be exempted from ABC. Sure. This will encourage you to move your factory from maybe China or Taiwan or Germany or France and say, let me try the African environment. And when you start doing business and say that there's support from government, when you produce, you find good roads, you have safety, you have energy, you will be encouraged to do more, and the others will see that for Mr. A is working, then Mr. B, Mr. C, Mr. D will be working. And that's what Mr. President is working towards. You see that there are harmonized taxation in Nigeria. Taxes are harmonized so that it can be transparent. Even a layman can study the Nigerian tax system and know how it operates and know how they plug in. That's what Mr. President is trying to do. The tax laws is not to stifle Nigerians or make them poor, but it's to make sure that everybody understands the taxation policies and see how they can be able to fit in and bring in foreign direct investment to Nigeria. Then invest in industrialization so that our factories can grow. These are critical factors. And then we need gas.
Yeah.
We need gas. You cannot power big industrial plants on solar. You can't power them on generators. You can't power them. You need gas to power big turbines and big machines to run industry. These are critical factors. And then if you find out what Ashwaju is doing now, all the way from Kogi through Abuja industrial hub to Kano industrial hub, there's a gas pipeline going on. So the textile industries in Kano can come back on, the factories in Abuja can pick up, and then the northern part of the country can be able to thrive also industrially. That's what the president is trying to do for this country.
Wonderful. Now, that is bringing me to collaboration. I want you to talk to us about some of the successful models for collaboration between industries and governments in order to drive innovation.
You see, collaboration comes in when you have the tools. Collaboration is when you have many industries and many clusters that are operated by government and which private investors are allowed to invest in and have ownership of part of the industries. If you take, for instance, during the colonial areas, after the colonial areas, you had the regional governments of Eastern Nigeria, Southern Nigeria, Northern Nigeria, and the rest of them. What Michael Okpara did was that they had plant plantations that we had in the East, which was owned by the then government. And then certain individuals came and invested in those palm plantations and had ownership of part of it. And then as government is exiting that investment, is exiting that because government is not to run business, then the private sector takes over. It's like we had refineries in Nigeria that was run by government, NMPC, Port Harcourt Refinery, Kaduna Refinery, Warri Refinery, the rest of them. The Dangotes are coming in, and other petroleum industries are coming in. So that when government is exiting, the private sector takes over. We talk about petroleum products. It's not about petrol and diesel. We have plastics. We have, polypropylene, polyethylene, and the rest of them are coming out from crude that are used to produce car parts, chairs that will sit on, plastic tables, all sorts of things. The millions of products that can come from petroleum. So even beyond refineries to make petrol and diesel, you need petrochemical industries to also make chemicals that we're going to use to produce other things in the country. Urea, fertilizer for agriculture. These are all the things that if government gets into these investments and then have private individuals have ownership or take ownership of part of it, the time government is exiting, that's the collaboration. The private sector takes over and run it as a private venture and then becomes more profitable.
Wow, wonderful. And this is now bringing me to competitiveness. We talk about industrial development, innovation, and competitiveness. Now, what are some of the key factors that determines a country's industrial competitiveness?
Yeah, your competitiveness is dependent on the value of your currency. Your competitiveness depends on the cost of labor. When you talk about American industries are sourced in China and parts of Asia, it's because when they aggregate their cost of output and impute the cost of labor, they find that it becomes too expensive when you hire the manpower in the United States. So you go to Bangladesh to make fabrics. It's not because Americans cannot make those clothes or they don't have the population, but the cost of labor per hour in America, the cost of labor in Venezuela, Bangladesh, or in South Korea is less. So competitiveness is the value of your currency and the cost of labor and the cost of other inputs that you need to produce. If per kilowatt hour of energy in Nigeria is too high, by the time you finish your production, your products are going to be expensive. If you compare it with the cost of per kilowatt hour of energy in South Africa, which is less, you find out by the time a South African produces one yard of fabric and you produce 1 yard of fabric in Nigeria, you're going to be overpriced. And when you're overpriced, you cannot compete. But when the cost of energy is competitive, the cost of labor is competitive and a little bit less, and other tools like movement from port of production to even the seaport where you ship and tariffs and taxes, then it becomes easy for you to compete with other nations and then you can be able to export.
Okay, still on competitiveness, you're going to talk to us about how can trade policies like tariffs, trade agreements impact industrial competitiveness.
Absolutely.
But you are going to respond after we come back from this break.
Thank you.
Yes, we are here talking about the strategies for promoting industrial development, innovation, and competitiveness. Let's go on this quick break. We'll be right back after now. Stay with us, please.
Are you interested in being up to date with the pacey world of sports? Or rebranded Capital Sports is the finest bet for your doing so.
So, join us every Thursday live at 3 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja to talk sports for your viewing pleasure. Remember, you can be a part of this #1 sporting program. Join us on the analysis, views and opinions.
Welcome back, and if you just tune in, you're welcome. And we are here talking about strategies for promoting industrial development, innovation, and competitiveness. Yes, before we went on the break, I say you're going to respond to us about how can trade policies like tariff, trade agreements impact on industrial competitiveness.
Yes, what happens is that we have the African Free Trade Agreement, which Nigeria is a signatory to and other African countries are signatory. To what extent is it implemented? Very poor. What are the aims of these trade agreements? These trade agreements means that if in Nigeria we produce cocoa, for instance, and produce petrol, for instance, we can be able to ship them to countries that don't have cocoa and petroleum products. And if those countries are producing yam, and they are producing textiles, and they are producing XYZ, they can be able to ship off. So within the African cluster, goods and services can move in freely, unhindered, without over-taxation. Because when the taxation becomes too high within the African cluster, what happens is that the individual nations will be forced to import from China and other countries directly to their countries, and they become cheaper. Because if you move an item today from Lagos and you want to take it to Gabon, you pass through Benin, you pass through Lomé, you pass through Ghana, you pass through other countries. By the time you overtax at all these border points and you arrive in Gabon, you have been overpriced. The man, the Gabonese will tell you it's better for him to ship it even from Germany. It's better for him to ship it from there. So trade agreements are to enable and remove the bottlenecks in trade. And then it will enable the industries to grow, because if I'm producing 1 ton of item per month and I have markets for 50 tons, I will expand my industry and then produce 50 tons. I mean, what does it mean? There's industrial growth, there's consumption of what we produce within our locality, within other neighboring countries, and also importation from those countries, or what we lack will be easy. Now we talk about raw materials. You don't have Ajokuta steel running. You don't have the steel and the iron ore companies running. How do you produce parts? How do you produce vehicles? How do you produce machineries? We need to have all these other sources of raw materials that we need to produce locally up and running, so that we can be able to get access to raw materials we need to have our industries going. In that way, it becomes cheaper. If I have to ship steel from Russia to Nigeria to produce, and I get steel from Ajokuta here in Kogi State, easy, then I don't need to import from Russia. And my cost of production becomes less, because I'm going to ship, pay duty, pay tax, pay VAT, pay freight, pay everything, and then it becomes difficult for me to run. So these are the things that trade agreements, I don't want to deviate, trade agreements and some of these government policies are there to enable ease of doing business and then to encourage growth in the industrial sector.
I want you to take us through how can access to finance improve the SMEs?
Yes, the access to finance is critical, but I must give it to Mr. President that first of all, you must have a pool of funds before you disburse those pool of funds at reasonable rates. Okay. What Mr. President had done first was to stabilize the economy that was almost dead, moribund. The economy is now up. Then Mr. President said that access to funds for small and medium enterprises is being improved. We need single-digit interest loans for small and medium enterprises. If not, we cannot compete. When you talk about competitiveness, I take a loan at 45%, and another man takes a loan in South Africa at 9%. How do you compete? And you're producing apple for apple. So small and medium enterprises must have access to cheap loans to be able to thrive. What is Bank of Industries doing? Let us take a catalog. Who are the people who access Bank of Industry loans? What are the terms and conditions? What are they required of these people? You cannot meet the terms of conditions to get money from Bank of Industry today. You cannot go to Smidan and take money, because when you look at the terms and conditions to access the loan, at the end of the day, it's overpriced. You cannot be able to access the loans. You cannot produce and then grow as an entrepreneur. These are the key factors, and I give it to Wale Edu, the Minister of Finance. Making serious efforts to see that governance affects the people who are governed, and the government policies benefit those who are supposed to benefit from it. That's why I'm happy with Asiwaju's government, that the policies are meant to say, look, let us jump bureaucracy. Let us jump all this fanfare. Let us reach out to those who need support of government, find out what they need, and give them what they need, and the rates at which they need them, so we can be able to pull results. That way we can get the traction. And that's what government is doing today.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, you still talk to us about industrial development. How can industrial development be made more sustainable and environmentally friendly?
It's simple. You must have consistent policy.
Okay.
If today you make policies and tomorrow you change the policies and next week you change the policies, foreign direct investment will not come because nobody can trust what your government is doing. Today, what has Mr. President done? The fluctuation in exchange rate is plus or minus 1 to 2%, which means if you want to invest in the Nigerian economy today, you can project for 6 months what is going to be your profit, what are the cash calls you need, and other parameters you need to invest in Nigeria. That's what Mr. President. Consistency in policy, in your monetary policy, fiscal policies, administrative policy, tax policies. If you have consistency and stability in your policies as a government, people will have confidence to invest in your system. Even the small entrepreneurs who wants to go and borrow money from the bank will know that policies tomorrow is not going to throw him up this and put him in debt and then he's going to crash. We need simple, you need consistency in government policy. It doesn't matter what the exchange rate is, better they be consistent. It doesn't matter what the tax laws are, let them be consistent. It doesn't matter what your fiscal policies are, let them be consistent. What your trade laws are, let them be consistent. Not that people can be able to walk around it as a civilized country and then plan and plug into the country and then support the good of the
Consistency is the key.
That's the one.
All right. Now, what are some of the strategies for promoting inclusive industrial development and reducing inequality?
Yeah, what you need to do is when you see, I talked about Ashiwaju and the gas pipeline from Kogi through Abuja to Kano. Is when you look at the ecosystem as a nation, what does the Kano man do? He needs these textile industries. What does the man in Benue and Plateau do? He needs refrigerators for his bananas, for his oranges, for his mangoes, and the rest of them. He requires energy. What does the man in Aba need? He needs energy to be able to make his shoes and make his clothes and use that. You ask yourself, what does the man in Oshobo and when you ask yourself these questions, you then begin to plug in the things that are necessary, what you call necessary tools, necessary infrastructure that the people need because different locations, different parts of the country needs different interventions. When you find out what they need and do those things as a nation, you find every part of the country becomes productive.
Yes.
The man in Nasarawa today is mining lithium. Lithium is going to be used to produce batteries. Batteries are going to be used to power machines and even electric vehicles and the rest of them. The man in Lagos might need those lithium batteries to be able to have solar plants to run maybe ferry boats and the rest of. You see, these are synergies when you find out what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. And government supports your weaknesses to make you strong and then productive as a state, as a local government, as a community, as a cluster. They find out every part of the country will complement each other and then we grow evenly.
Thank you so much. And as we round up this segment of discussion, I want you to give us your parting word, your word of advice as a strategy for promoting industrial development, innovation, and competitiveness.
We need policymakers that are working with Mr. President Ashiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be consistent with his vision. His vision is to have a stable economy that will thrive and see that Nigeria develops industrially and our dependence on imported products are reduced. So I just need to advise policymakers to be consistent in their policies, transparent in their decisions, and then have an inclusive mechanism where those who benefit from these policies are part of the decision-making process so that the policies that are formulated at the end of the day becomes useful and then we can be able to benefit from them.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okorie Ikechukwu Raphael, for your time with us and for taking us through strategies for promoting industrial development, innovation, and competitiveness. You've said it all. Thank you so much for your time with us this morning.
God bless you. Have a great day. God bless Nigeria.
All right, the program is Good Morning Abuja. Let's go on this quick break. We'll be right back after now. Stay with us, please.
Us to say our goodbyes on the program. As usual, I remain your host with the most, Omar with Erese, and I'll always be here with my bestie.
Je m'appelle Oguntayo Olanimposi Justina.
Speaking French now, from Jordan to Sweden.
Adios.
Welcome back from the break, and it's good to know you are still there with us on the program Good Morning Abuja, and it is coming to you from the Unity Station. And as we continue with our conversation, now we're going to talk about protecting digital systems and networks and data from threats. And with me this morning, I have an IT expert. Help us welcome Rachel again to the program. Rachel, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, ma. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, our IT expert. Now, as we talk about protecting digital systems, networks, and data from threats, I want you to take us through some common types of cyber threats.
Okay, we have malware. Now let me quickly explain what malware is. Now malware, they kind of enter your system to collect sensitive information. We have DDoS. This one, they overload the system, causing a downtime. That's why sometimes you see WhatsApp is kind of lagging and the likes of it. It's because of that virus that actually entered your system. Also have phishing. Whenever you see, sometimes you receive some kind of mail, be like, where is this mail from? They'll tell you, be careful the kind of mail you respond to, because if you do so, they take sensitive information from you. So you should be very, very careful of the email and messages you actually respond to. And we also have spyware. They actually spy on your system to get information. So those are some types of threats to systems.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, I want you to talk to us about some of the strong passwords that we can use to help prevent unauthorized access into our information.
Okay, first, use a strong password. You can actually mix alphabets and numbers and also special characters when you're actually creating a password for your system. Also encrypt your data.
Okay.
Yes, and also cloud service. You store your data in the cloud. At least there we are actually, at least if not 100% sure, you're sure that nobody actually go to your cloud and get your information. So those are some of the preventive measures to actually protect your system from such attacks.
Okay. And what role do firewalls and intrusion detecting system play in network security?
Now, detecting system, they actually monitor traffic.
Okay.
The first thing, they monitor traffic, and when they see a threat, they will alert you that there's a threat coming to you. Okay. And if you don't respond, they help you to stop that attack that's actually coming to your system.
Okay.
And firewall, they actually prevent unauthorized access to your system.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And how can organization ensure data backups? You know, backup is very good in case you lose your information, to secure and readily available.
Okay, there's a 3-2-1 rule. Okay. First of all, you make a 3 copy, 2 format and 1 offline. In case maybe because of some situations you're not able to access the data at the point, you can actually save it offline. Make 3 copies and you have these 2 formats, and also encrypt your data. Also, those will help you to actually protect your system.
Okay. And what are some of the common network vulnerabilities and how can they be navigated?
Now, this is way beyond human control. Okay. Like, definitely, sometimes system has that downtime and uptime. So when there's a downtime, like system put in place to actually ensure system actually work perfectly, even when there's a downtime.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what are some of the steps we should take in response to suspected security breach or incident?
First thing first, you contain the incident.
Okay.
Then you disconnect the affected system.
So how do you contain the incident?
By how will I put it now? That definitely is going to be a particular system that has been affected. So first you disconnect it, you switch it off first. Okay. After you disconnect it, then you actually investigate to know, where is this attack coming from? When you're able to investigate, you are able to contain it. Then inform the relevant stakeholders, the IT guy, the development guy, that there was a breach on our system, and trust me, if you have a 24/7 development and IT expert on board, they're able to help contain that situation and ensure that it does not repeat itself.
Okay.
So first thing first, you have to contain the incident.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what are some of the key considerations for post-incident analysis and remediation?
Okay. Now, this is after the threat has actually happened.
Yes.
And you're able to actually contain everything and all. The next step you need to take is, first of all, you need to encrypt your data. Encrypt your data first. After doing that, the next thing, you encrypt your data, you actually ensure that there's a limit access. Like, don't make it a situation where everybody in the office has an access to that particular system. So limit access based on roles. Use to ensure that, oh, is this person that's actually handling this system. So when there's an issue, you know that, oh, this is this person responsible. So you limit access to limited roles if it's in an organization, and so many more.
Okay, you know, we are in a digital world and AI world now. How do emerging technologies like AI impact cybersecurity risk and threats?
Like I did mention of the IPS and IDS, which monitor traffic on the system. Once they see an attack, they actually alert you, which is a very good thing. They alert you, oh, there's an attack coming to you. And if you don't respond as the human factor in the picture, they help you stop the attack. So that's one of the ways AI actually helps us to contain such attacks on our system.
Okay. But when we talk about the potential cyber security implication, what are they?
Okay, once there's a cyber attack or a breach on your system, definitely information should be lost. Sensitive information to be leaked to the public. If there's a cyber security breach on your system, you find that sensitive information is not leaked to the public, which is not supposed to. So those are some of the after effects of the cyber security attack.
And how can any organization at all stay ahead of involving cyber threats?
Regular updates of system of the software, regular updates, regular backups. Like even on your WhatsApp, you find that you see back up your chats and like so regularly. Don't just do it once in a while. Do it regularly. Update your system, back up your system regularly. Check for virus, check for attacks, and also be readily available in case it happens, because it can happen to anybody.
It can happen to anyone.
There should be a measure in place to ensure that, oh, once it happens, there's a counter effect that will not disrupt the whole system entirely. Okay,
how about organizations promoting cyber security awareness through training? What do you have to say about that?
Okay, these days we find that even in schools there's a course now, cyber security.
Yes.
So that it's actually a big issue if it's not being addressed. So organization can actually invest in cyber security and also the measures to actually contain attacks and the likes of it. Okay. Also, the government can also come in, organize cyber security boot camp, seminars, workshop, train young adults on how to actually go in that field, because trust me, we are going into a much bigger digital world. We need people on ground that can actually help if there's an attack or anything like that.
Okay, so as we round up this segment of discussion, I want you to take us through how can individuals, I know you've mentioned one or two things, but how can individuals protect their personal devices and data from cyber threats?
Use a very strong password. Don't use 1, 2, 3.
Don't use 000 or your date of birth.
Better still, use numbers, use alphabet, and use a special character. Don't make it too ambiguous. You know, say, oh, if I make it too big, you now forget. So keep it short and simple. Okay. Also, you use a strong password. You update your systems, and also there's a two-step verification, like on your WhatsApp or your Facebook. They say, oh, it will actually give you the advice. Use a two-step, so that in case the person wants to enter your system, it uses the first password. It does not stop there. There's other measure to actually go to. So you always use a two-step verification method for your devices and your system.
Wow, thank you so much, Rachel Egene, for your time with us and for taking us through how we can protect our digital systems and network and our data from threats. We do really appreciate your time with us today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. All right, the program is Good Morning Abuja. Let's go on this quick break. We'll be right back. After now, stay with us, please.
Good evening, glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
I will celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The Station NTA Channel 5.
Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
Welcome back from the break, and it's good to know you have joined us again on the program. Good morning, Abuja, and it is coming to you from the Unity Station. And now to Road Matters. This morning, we'll be talking about managing fatigue and distractions while driving. And who is the person to do justice to this topic before us this morning? We have ACC Zayan Ibrahim, who is the Unit Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, CBD. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you.
Hello, viewers.
As we talk about managing fatigue and distractions while driving, I want us to start exactly like this. What exactly is driver fatigue, and why is it considered a major risk factor for road accidents?
Good morning, viewers. Once again, driver's fatigue is simply where a driver is driving under stress. When he is tired.
Okay.
At that point, he's supposed to have rested before he starts. Before he continue driving. In a situation whereby he says, "Okay, let me move myself. Let me try and move myself." That is where fatigue arises. So, and consequently, a crash may occur. And that is simply what fatigue is.
It's all about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how do distractions such as phone usage in car conversation affect a driver's concentration? Because we are seeing some of these things majorly on our roads.
Yes. That is why we combine these two together. The team of our Emma Monta campaign to be take responsibility for your safety, avoid distracted driving. Because our research shows that most of the accidents we help in this country arise from distracted driving. A situation whereby someone is using phone and that will distract him both physically and mentally from the route, and consequently that can lead to an accident. In such situation, there are other situations like conversations with other passengers. One can be distracted because someone can be engaged in conversation. It's a situation whereby even they may even be showing him something
while
the roadside while driving. That can distract him from the road. And once he's away, once his mental focus is away from that road, anything can happen.
You even see some person carrying a little baby while driving.
Yes, that is an impression on our laws.
Okay.
One is not allowed to carry baby. In fact, not even carrying baby or lapping a baby. No, even carrying him on the passenger side. Say any child that is below 12-year-old is supposed to be at the back seat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, from your experience, we want you to tell us why this topic that we are treating today is very, very important on Nigerian roads, especially on our highways. I know you and your men are doing tremendously well on the road, your best on the road to ensure safety. Why do you think that this topic is very important and apt at this time?
This topic is very, very important, especially at this time of the year, because this is where driving under fatigue, distracted driving, of course, mostly. Because you see, this is a situation whereby someone will say, "I want to make it at all costs," and the passengers are there. But since the passengers are there, most especially among commercial drivers, since the passengers are there, then the possibility of fatigue driving definitely is there, because you go a long distance driving, you come back, you still see passengers on ground, and you still want to make it because Christmas, New Year celebrations,
all the celebrations are here.
So, and one needs money.
Yes.
So one needs to be very careful, because in trying to get that money, one can endanger himself, and such money can be wasted in medical
if you are
treatment.
not alive
Yes.
to enjoy the
Yes.
money.
That's even if one is alive, can be also on medical treatment.
Medication.
So, and one can even spend that time on hospital bed, which is what we don't pray for.
Okay. As we look at fatigue this morning, I want you to connect it with sleep. How does lack of sleep or poor rest affect drivers' reaction time and decision making while driving?
Yes, that is why we said any driver that is going on long distance driving should have enough rest. He should prepare himself physically and mentally before being on the road. And we equally advise fleet operators, that is corporate organizations, government organizations, what have you, who used to send drivers for long distances.
Okay.
Sometimes the driver may just come for his normal routine duties, maybe within FCT, and the next thing they will say, okay, there is this thing that we need to send you to Lagos. He wasn't actually mentally ready, physically ready. Maybe he has spent the night 12, 1 a.m. Gisting or watching TV movies or what have you. Now you are not sending him a long distance this thing. There is possibility of fatigue.
Yes.
There is possibility for him to get tired, and there is possibility for him to sleep on steering, which is what we call sleeping on steering, mostly result to accidents.
Okay.
So that is why when you have a plan to send a driver, tell him beforehand that tomorrow you are going to so place, so that he should prepare his mind to be on the road for such a journey.
Okay, we are already in the Ember month, and I know this is part of some of the awareness we are creating here.
Yeah.
How well are you deepening your awareness to especially motor parks and everywhere for commercial drivers to ensure this fatigue and distraction that we are talking about is not there?
Yes. We used to go on just platforms like this, radios, television. We go to parks. Like today, we're organizing a motorcade rally. Now we go to motor park.
Okay.
We gather drivers and we also speak to them against such unethical practice on the road.
Okay.
And we are equally organizing a town hall meeting for FCT in general.
Wow.
We'll invite stakeholders from across FCT so that we talk to them. Then they now send such a message, they relay such message to their subjects as it affects road safety.
Okay. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Now, are there specific medical conditions or medications that drivers should be cautioned about before hitting the road on any journey at all they want to make?
Yes, it is advisable that any driver that wants to take any drug, he should seek medical advice on it. Because there are drugs that they will write that you should not drive while you take that, even if the drug is allowed legally for him to take. Let's say like the drug for sedatives and what have you. There are drugs that do someone to sleep. There is no that relaxes the brain.
Yes.
So as you just on steering, the next thing you just feel it's asleep. Drugs like cough syrup and what have you. Things like that. So one is expected to seek for medical advice before taking any drug, not even a driver, any other person. But why we emphasize on the driver because we are related to safety on the highway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, what are some of the practical tips that drivers adopt to stay alert and focus while driving? I want you to share some with us.
Yes, it is advisable that for able a driver is supposed not to drive more than 10 hours without having a supportive driver.
Okay.
That is, if the journey goes for at least 10 hours, he's supposed to have a driver, a co-driver, so that within a certain number of hours, they will shift. They will now, this one will now come on the side, the other one will rest.
So in an instance,
and for every 4 hours,
okay,
a driver is supposed to have stopped at a particular point, at a particular safe location, rest for some time, stroll down so that there will be enough blood circulation from the head to the brain, so that he'll relax himself for like 15 minutes, then he continues.
Okay. Are there any quick exercises or stretches that techniques that drivers can do to combat drowsiness while on the steering?
Well, the important is just for him to rest.
Okay.
If he's tired, he should just rest.
Okay.
There's nothing that replaces that rest.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So as we quickly round up this segment of discussion, and we are already in the Ember month, we want you to give us some quick tips on what we should know about our car and how we can drive safely on our road as we look through the process of fatigue and drowsiness today.
Yes. You see, like the other time I said, a driver should be ready both mentally and physically before embarking on any journey. He should equally look at his vehicle. That was why I will talk about the water. That is, check his water, oil level, farm belt, his tires, and whatever. Meaning that he should be ready. As he is ready to, both physically and mentally, the vehicle too should also equally be ready.
Be ready for any journey.
That's why you see some drivers will be on the road. That is, it is while driving, then they'll not be checking. It's like I'm feeling some this from that tire. These are things that a driver is supposed to have checked before he starts embarking on that journey, not while on the road.
Okay. Yeah. So your final words before I let you go.
Yes, my final word is we should be ready before embarking on any journey. And this readiness involves both the driver and the car or the vehicle he's driving.
Thank you so much.
So
indeed, we must be ready mentally, physically, and ensure that our cars too are in the right shape to take us through all the journeys we want to make.
Definitely.
Especially this Ember month that will have a lot of journeys before us, a lot of celebrations. We thank you so much, ACC Zayan Ibrahim, Unit Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, CBD, for your time with us this morning.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Yeah. Okay, the program is Good Morning Abuja. Let's go on this quick break. We'll be right back after now. Stay with us, please.
I welcome you on today's ride on the show Good Morning Abuja.
This is Window on Abuja.
We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
How do we make it? We are ready to produce.
I've been contributing to the development of your kingdom.
They know my story.
Hello and welcome to Young Hearts.
Our focus today will be on hepatitis B.
Ladylike!
This is Entertainment Gist.
In the 14th century, 15th, 16th century, and even 17th.
That is for zakah to cure our greed.
The purpose why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to create humanity.
The Bible talks about a man called Apollos.
This is NTA Abuja Channel 5.
See you same time.
And have a great and blessed week ahead.
Welcome back from the break. The program is still Good Morning Abuja, coming to you from the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Yes, we've been talking and conversing now. Let's go on this musical break. We'll be right back. Let's go enjoy some songs together.
Open the fire, play the bedroom, let them know. No finish you, no finish you. Man, no fit tire, every day I'm on the road. No limit you, no limit you. This now unso good you turn down for you robo. Many things we can do, Tori I'm into you. Would you wire for you? Tonight I've been dancing at the pain away. Yola balaba, give me your hand and shoulder. To see shoulder get up. Blessings for your head up. Yola balaba, give me your hand and shoulder. But I know go get us. Better go locate us. Yola balaba. Spyro. Now only me, my life. See as we day like beans and rice. I will never leave your side. I will never. I dedicate my time to you, my guy. Even if the road be rough, I don't mind. 'Cause you be my G for life.
As I never see you online, it they worry me and it they give me consign. Yeah, I be ringing on your cellular. Where you at? My body no fit settle down. Yeah, I'm hoping you okay. We got to party tonight. Many just stay for mine. Yeah, me and you they like that. Not my guy. No jazzy, my guy. Joey's Zaza, do transfer. Yourself be my guy. Bado is my guy. My guy. Sorry, one rule, one is enough. So I call your name when you ask me
who is your guy. Now you know. Now you know. If you know, you know. The big ballers in town. Now you know. Now you know. Forget what I know them. Yes. Agba baller. How much is money? It's nothing. Ballin'. Premium or nothing. Now you know. Now you know. Now you know. Now you know. Forget what I know them. Yes. Ayagaya. Ayagaya. Mbombo. Ayagaya. Ayagaya. Mbombo. Ayagaya. Ayagaya. Mbombo.
Welcome back from our musical break. Yes, I really enjoyed myself. I don't know about you, but I know you did. Now, let's go into the world of sports to bring you information from there, especially for sports lovers.
The Confederation of African Football CAF has confirmed that the Women's Africa Cup of Nations will expand from 12 to 16 teams, starting with the 2026 edition in Morocco. CAF said the change aims to enhance competitiveness and promote women's football across the continent. 4 additional teams, based on the FIFA Women World Rankings, will join the 12 that already qualified, including Morocco, Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, and Zambia. Meanwhile, in the 2025-2026 CAF Champions League, Rivers United of Nigeria and Power Dynamos Zambia were drawn in a tough Group A with Pyramids FC, Egypt, and RS Berkane, Morocco. The draw held in Johannesburg also features heavyweights like Al Ahly, Mamelodi Sundowns, and AS FAR, setting up one of the most competitive group stages in recent years. Lastly, ahead of AFCON 2025, Tunisia coach Sami Trabelsi has acknowledged Nigeria's quality and the improving standards of Tanzania and Uganda, who share Group C with the 2024 champions. He said Nigeria's European-based stars make them strong contenders, while Tanzania's Ali Samata and Uganda's growing consistency could make the group one of the tournament's most unpredictable.
And for our sports lovers, we know you have taken note of one or two information we brought your way this morning. Now, let's bring you our weather forecast for today. What will our weather prospect look like? Let's see. And with the weather forecast, we conclude yet another edition of the program, Good Morning Abuja. We thank you so much for your time with us on the program. And we know we've been able to inform you, educate you, and of course, entertain you like we promised you from the beginning of the program. Join us tomorrow morning again for another interesting episode of the program, Good Morning Abuja. And from all of us here, we say, Do have a productive day today. I've been your host, Deborah Abba Usman. Good morning.
In being up to date with the pacey world of sports, our rebranded Capital Sports is the finest bet for your doing so.
So join us every Thursday live at 3 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja to talk sports for your viewing pleasure. Remember, you can be a part of this #1 sporting program. Join us on the analysis, views and opinions.
La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
With peace and blessings of Allah be upon each and every one of us. It's another fantastic Friday evening, and you're welcome to NTA Channel 5 Abuja.
First of all, you train yourself, you educate yourself, then you educate your family, and then the community at large.
Fundamentals of Islam Live, showing 7:30 p.m. every Friday on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. Join us.
Abuja, as always, we talk about the beautiful city that is the Federal Capital Territory.
NTA Nigeria, window na Abuja, ama Abuja capital, ama Abuja Benere, window Abuja Benere.
Window on Abuja, every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Window on Abuja, all about Abuja.